So it was work of a sexual nature, but you would define it as survival work because of the stigma. So like redefined.
Basically.
Okay. So you were out working when this incident happened, or what was that day like? The morning of March 28th.
Okay. Don't cut me. I'm finna break it down to you. Okay.
Yeah.
My mother's birthday is March the 29th. My birthday is April the 10th. Me and my mother are Aries. We're both Aries. So March the 29th was my mother's birthday. So what I was actually doing was, what others don't know. So this is actually a bombshell for others to be like, oh my God, I didn't even know this was even actually going on. But at that particular time, I was actually striving to make more money because I was trying to surprise my mother with some gifts. I'd already had bought some edible arrangements. I was going to actually go and buy her some clothes. I'm saying, like, it was going to be some other little add-ons of things which I was going to do at that particular moment. But I was outside. It was early morning. It was like, what, 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. And I was just wrapping it up, I'm saying, from the early morning of being out doing whatever I was doing. And there's a particular black man that was out, doing whatever he was doing, far as, I think, selling drugs. I can't really know because that wasn't my business or what he was doing, because I really wasn't concerned. But he was out doing what he was doing, and he came into the store. I was actually outside with one of the girls that actually died. Her name is Tiffany Goodman. She was one of the trans girls that actually died in the situation of my story. And rest in peace. She was with me that day, and we was actually sitting inside of the gas station called Sitco, which is no longer even called Sitco anymore. The gas station is there, but it's no longer called Sitco anymore. And we was sitting in, like, it's an area, I don't know if those who know how the gas station label is, where you have, sometimes the gas station have where you pump and you just pay and leave, and you have an area where you can go in and get beverages and things like that. So we was in a part where it was like you can pump and leave. So it was like you can stand around right there. So we was just standing around, doing us, waiting on, whatever to come for us. And this particular young man walked in, and my friend was like, oh, I know him. He's from my area. And, from that point on, he was like, oh my God, y'all better not be looking at me. I ain't with all that. Ooh. So at that particular moment, and at that time in 2011, a lot of guys wasn't accepting to you looking at them. Like, if you looked at them, that was the point where they felt like you was actually coming on to them, or you was throwing yourself on to them. And it wasn't that. It was just like, I was looking and like, okay, he could have been just a handsome man, or just looking because I probably known him. But it was another way the approach of how he took it. He was like, and it just went on of just aggression.
It's like when a gay guy hits on a straight dude, or when a gay guy just talks to a straight dude, and the straight dude's like, dude, what are you doing? I'm not gay. And he was just talking. Like, he wasn't trying to
hit on you. I'm just having a conversation with you.
Yeah.
So it's in the same concept of that, but it was more so in like, don't look my way, or you make me get, or you're trying to hit on me. And I was like, okay, anyways, I tried to ignore the situation, but it escalated. I'm saying, so he bought his beverages and things like that. And as he was leaving out of the gas station from where we were standing at on out into the pump area, he mentioned like, yeah, these motherfuckers out here looking at me and woo, woo, woo. And mind you, we knowing he referring to us because the doors, people coming in early in the morning, buying gas, getting coffee, leaving out. It was a lot of action. So he was causing more of a scene. And for me, I'm a type of girl where I feel like I avoid things. I'm a very big avoider. Like, I like to avoid all type of situations. Like, you don't see me in the public media stream, like, often like trying to be something I'm not. I'm just a normal person willing to share my story and hopefully uplift other individuals that's impacted by my situation and maybe can learn what to do and what not to do differently. But anyways, that was my whole thing. Like, I didn't really want to go back and forth with him or whatever I'm saying. So I tried to avoid the whole situation. But he was causing to make a bigger of a scene where people coming in and out, they point at us at the pump. Like I said, he maybe was out selling drugs, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, he was just making a bigger scene. And I was like, you know what, Tiffany? I'm finna leave because he messing up what I got going on up here. And I can't get what I got to get because he's causing a scene. So at that particular moment, I'm like, okay, let me just leave. Because I had my own car or whatever. So I'm like, let me leave. So as we was leaving, because if people catch y'all out here again, they going to kill your ass. And at that particular moment, like, we're referring back to what we said. Sometimes you done been through so much in life that the things that you've been through sometimes, and you going through the same situations, similarities, because they all are some similar situations where the impact of the trauma that you've been through previously tend to come back another thing as trauma. Like that was trauma for me because I wasn't doing anything to this young man. The only thing I did, like I said before, was looking at him. And my intentions of looking at him was not to say I want you to do something with me or you have anything for me. It was just a look. But I guess he may have known her. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But like I said,
your friend that you were with.
Yes. But I don't know that. I'm just like, you're messing up what I got going on. So I was upset. Mm-hmm. So like I said, we was getting ready to leave out. And as me and her leaving, he was like, yeah, because a person catch y'all out here again, they go, whoa, whoa. At that particular moment, I had a rage that built up because I felt like I shouldn't have to leave whatever I had to do because you're ignorant and you feeling like a person looking at you causes you to feel like you being, I guess, what people try to hit on you? Seduced.
Seduced, yeah.
I wasn't seduced. It just made me feel like I had a moment where I reflected back of just so much anger of rush that flew to me because I just was over the fact of, like I said, growing up in school, in high school, being picked with, teased with, always having this moment where I'm always the target. I just rage. I went out of rage. And the rage come from him running up to hit me. He struck me first. Yeah, I had some words of once he said what he said of, if y'all do leave, someone gonna kill y'all if I see y'all again and all that. That moment for me was a threat. You don't threat a person telling them what you're gonna do to them. I'm saying at that particular moment, if anybody liable with threats, I don't take threats willingly. At that particular moment, you're going to have to do what you're going to do at this particular moment because I don't want you to catch me in and then you do that to me. Then I wasn't expecting what was coming, right? Mm-hmm. So that's how everything began.
So just to recap, so you were at the gas station. It was one of those gas stations where you could hang around. It had the snack area. People could go in. And so this guy was assuming that just because you looked at him, you were trying to hit on him or something, or you were trying to seduce him, and maybe he felt insecure, and so he was lashing out at you, and he said something like, if you come back here, like y'all gonna get killed or something like that, or he was threatening you basically, and then he hit you first, like he made a move and hit you, and what happened after that? Like how did that tussle evolve? Like what was the back and forth?
But yes, reciting back. So as we was leaving the gas station, like I told her, because like I said, it's a pump area. And if you Google, you will see the layout of the gas station. So people will be able to get a better visual of what I'm referring to. It's a pump area and it's a part where you go and grab beverages and things like that, snacks, chips and things like that. But as we was leaving, like I said, he ended up saying something to us as we're leaving. So at that particular moment, I feel like he was antagonized, like he was, like picking with us. Like it was, but this is something that's been going on for years. Like we're always the target of the pick. Like we always we pick. We always are the pick to be picked with. So at that particular moment, I just was over the fact that I'm not going to consistently be the point where someone is going to constantly pick with me. So I said some things verbally, like, yeah, you got me fucked up, woo, woo, woo. And at that particular moment, I think that the things of what I said kind of made him feel a certain type of way where I'm being told these type of way from a person like you. Oh, hell no, let me beat your ass. So he ran up on me and he stole off me. And from that point, that's how everything transpired. He hit me in my face. My friend, she was sitting on the side of me saying, oh my God, help her, woo, woo. And there was another older man out there, I guess, with him as well that was doing whatever they was doing for us, selling drugs, or because like that's a known area where Madison and Kilbourne was a known area where drugs were always being sold. So a lot of crackheads, prostitutes, and things like that was always around. So of course they maybe was out selling drugs, but I don't know. But yeah, they both attacked me while she stood around. She was calling the police to help me and things like that, but that never actually happened for the police to come in, secure to help me. So yeah, that's how the situation of the gas station aspect started. We
so he attacked you first, and then a combination of having people talk shit at you for however many years, plus the act of self-defense. You said some things back and defended yourself like anyone should in that situation, or else worse things can happen. And then how did things escalate after that? I remember hearing something about a car and them chasing you and stuff like that. What was the next thing that happened after the gas station?
So after the gas station, Rustle and Tussle, I did flee the scene. But at that particular moment of leaving the scene, they had some of the guys that had already been aware of us rustling and tussling in the gas station had already informed everybody. I don't know if people are aware of the alley call where people be like, "Oh man," what I mean by the alley call is that sometimes black people inform people like such and things so loudly and that others hear that now everybody know. So it was like,
Yeah,
it was a
they're like
form of
announcing that
awareness
something
quick.
is going down.
Right.
Like,
It was a form
something's about to go down.
basic, a form of awareness quick. So people was aware of what happened immediately. So as I got in my car and as I was driving, I don't know if I was to see these individuals on the side of me, but I was so angry that I did. Like I said, I have the option to now speak more into what actually transpired, but I will leave that to kind of say in the sense of this. I was in the angry mode where I did get in my car, and when I seen the young man, I did attempt to physically run him over out of anger because of how I felt. And that particular moment where Tiffany was in the car with me as well, she kind of like woke me up to like, Eisha, no, you're gonna like kill him. You know, you have to stop. You're gonna kill him. So I think, to be honestly, and speaking on this more now, because I do have an option to speak more on it now, because my lawyer actually said, Eisha, now you can actually speak on your truth on what actually really happened. A lot of, like, for me, I was in an angry, like, really rage moment. And I think sometimes we get to these moments where the rage of how you feel tends to not allow you to to think on your reaction of things that you're going to do. And at that particular moment, I didn't think, like, at that moment, all I felt like was I'm being picked and teased with and constantly, and it was just this particular person had something to do with this, and I want now my revenge. And so, yeah, that's the situation. I got in my car and I basically seen him coming down the street and tried to strike him.
Yeah, that's it's a fucked up situation to be in, and I imagine, you know, having people say things to you over the years and do things to you over the years that are, you know, either physically assaulting or verbally assaulting, kind of like, just even if it's just talking shit, that stuff builds up and for years and years and years, and it's tough to hold that in at all times, and it's tough to act in the angelic way. Like you can only let people get by for so long before someone, you know, hits you back and snaps, and it sounds like that's kind of what happened with the car aspect of it, because you were in the car, so you didn't have to go after him with the car and try to run him over, but in your mind you were seeing such rage that you weren't really thinking at the time, and you kind of just like you went for it. Is that kind of what was going through your mind?
It was a lot of rage. Like, for me, I think people will never understand rage, but I think sometimes people can kind of coexist with rage, where you can like be impacted by something so much where you lose who you are at that moment of reaction, the reaction of what to do and what not to do. Like, and that's really what it was. It was like I didn't react the way as of Eisha today, and Eisha, if was able to go back, maybe I probably wouldn't act in a way of that, but I had to make a statement where if situations like this constantly go on, where we're picked with, who's going to stand up and make a moment where it's a moment where people understand where maybe he deserved this, or maybe she didn't do anything that he didn't deserve. Like, that's what I was looking for people, but people were saying, well, oh, this is what you should have did, and that, but I never did anything literally to like mess with this man at all. Like, literally, like I said, I was out doing whatever I had what was doing, and this situation all occurred with him messing with me. So I really want people to understand and sympathize with me, but I know sometimes in situations like this where when you're doing things where people look about, oh, you're trans and you're trying to now go run him over and kill him or something like that, the tensions behind is this anger and rage and not dealing with the mental issues where at a young age, where when you get to an age where you can't control them anymore and you lash out and do the things of what I've done, then you have to now reflect back on that moment to now maybe say, was I wrong? Was I right? I don't, so I don't know. I just say that this situation was an impacting situation where now now that people can understand what maybe in the sense of the wrongdoing of him caused that to happen, so I want people to kind of like look at the situations in multiple ways where, not just judge it based off where, oh my God, well, you had opportunities to flee. Well, what if I went back up there again? I could have been in like the statistics of trans women where black trans women where they die and then now no one never know he killed me. So I was really trying to make a moment where I'm not going to tolerate this. Like, I'm not going to continue to keep dealing with being teased, picked with, and I'm not doing anything harmful towards you. So that's what, for me, if anything I want to say, that was a moment for me to understand, well, I'm not going to continue to keep tolerating this type of things. I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm trying to relate it back to something in my own life because I've never been in a situation as severe and as life-threatening as that in the context of someone trying to harm me. What it makes me think about though is in high school there were a bunch of times where I felt like people were calling me names and picking on me. Like, I have a Jewish dad, but I went to a Catholic high school. And so a lot of people made fun of me because I was half Jewish and I had a Jewish dad. And I never really thought about being Jewish until I went to a Catholic school, which is ironic. And I didn't really care about the insults at first. And then over years of people saying like, oh, gross Jew, or because my last name was Grossfeld, so they'd be like gross Jew or things like that. Like, each individual hit was not fatal, but over time I got to the point where one comment caused me to crack, and I ended up like shoving this kid super hard on the bus and then eventually punching back and forth, and I got my ass kicked because he was much bigger than me at the time. But after that, that individual never messed with me again because I had shoved him hard into a window. And there was that moment where you kind of saw the look in his eyes like, oh shit, like he actually hit me this time. And that action of pushing back hard caused him to let up immediately. We got in a fight, separated, nothing bad happened, like no broken bones, anything like that, just a couple bruises. And then after that, we were fine. And so I don't know exactly what it's like to go through the situation you've been through, but I understand the feeling of wanting to deliver that hit so that people don't fuck with you anymore. And it builds up over time, and it can be a singular action. Like, when people are reading your story and they don't know the context of it, they may see the one action of this guy shoving you and hitting you in the gas station, and then you trying to run him over with your car and say the action of this guy doesn't equal the action of this car. But in your mind, you're also dealing with all of the insults and abuse and things that it sounds like people have been giving you from a very young age. So not that it excuses people's actions, but you can understand where people come from when you have the context. And it sounds like this guy was an asshole anyway. So what happened to him? Like, what was the result of this altercation? Like, how did it eventually progress where the event that day came to an end?
Well, I'm leaving like a lot of misses and blishes in the mist. So hopefully, I'm saying we'll get a book. I'm saying, like, I've been trying to get the situation with this book memoir out.
Yeah.
I'm saying, just to get people more into just the whole dynamic of the full understanding. But the situation from that happening, from me hitting him or whatever with the car, me and Tiffany fled at the scene because I was scared because another car behind me of a bunch of young men. I'm saying, another thing, like I said, I didn't know what was going to happen in the midst of it after the fight, because like I said, everybody was already aware of us fighting. I'm saying, it was like, I don't know if he told like a lot of the gang boys that be out there selling drugs with him or whatever, I'm saying, to kind of back him up. I don't know. But as I hit him with the car, a car came behind me with a bunch of guys that was in the car that actually, from me hitting him, went to go make sure he was okay first. But once they went to go do that, I was the last person in the car. Tiffany had already got the car and ran. So she was already gone. I was the only one in the car. So it was one man that seen me on my way leaving out the car, I'm saying, from striking him and like, go get that faggot. Like, and me and him was on a chase. Like, he was chasing me. Like, they was really trying to harm me at that particular moment. Like, if I wouldn't have ran, who knows if I wouldn't be able to tell this story right now. So it's more than just a story. It's the survivor behind the story that's able to tell a story. Like, it's more than the story. So if we looking at the story of the situation, many trans women go through these same situations where they're not messing with anybody, they're not harming no one, but they're the target. So it's the same situation in the sense of me. I was a target where I defended myself, and I went about defending myself maybe in ways where others may be like, oh my God, that was a little bit too much. You literally could have killed him. But girls are being killed consistently. Like, you know, every year we have 10 to 15 girls, I'm saying, you seeing constantly dying, I'm saying. So getting back to my situation where, yeah, the young man chased me down the street. I actually found somewhere to hide. I had my phone with me, and I ended up calling my mom. I called my mom. She panicked immediately. She was like, oh my God, what happened? Where are you? Where are you? And I was like, Mom, these boys trying to kill me. I don't know. Like, I'm just sitting in the corner of someone's house. I'm saying, like I was in the basement of someone's house. So I was hiding because I didn't know if they caught me. Who knows? Like, I don't know what could have actually transpired right now, you know? So it's just at that moment I panicked. My mama panicked. She ended up finding out where I was at. I'm saying the police car was sitting up there at the scene, and we end up driving back to the scene or whatever. And the officer, mama ended up getting out the car, talked to the officer. The officer said whoever was in the car just need to turn themselves in. And obviously, at that particular moment, me, my mom, my stepdaddy, and my little brother was in the car, and we drove. My mom was like, what happened? I'm explaining to my mama, like, Ma, I didn't do anything to this boy. This is all what happened. She was like, okay, we're going to go to the doctor. We're going to go to, I said the doctor. We're going to go to the police station. You just inform the police what all transpired. And when I did that, walking into the police station alone, they was like, okay, well, we know about the incident that occurred. Well, who was the individual that was in the car? And my mom was like, well, my child. And at that particular moment, like they said, they read me my rights. They took me to the back and they said, well, your child we're compensating your child for the moment to figure out all what transpired because it was a situation that occurred. My mom was sat outside waiting. And at that particular moment, like now dealing with the police, this is a whole nother barrier, but that's how the situation escalated from that point.